Greetings, my name is Tim Johnson. This is Recovery, Strength, Hope and Courage. This is the second video of 3 videos I'm making on withdrawal from alcohol and opiates and getting through the first hard 30 days of recovery. In this second video I'll be dealing with the actual withdrawal itself from the alcohol and opiates. Yesterday's video, the first video, was about planning and preparation towards that. And there's just 2 things I want to add to that video quickly before I start this one. Two things that I didn't mention, which I perhaps should have done. The one was to hand over your phone if you can to someone that's near you. If you've got someone looking after you during withdrawal, if you've got someone living with you, if you like, then that's not an issue. Obviously, you might want to keep your phone handy if you're on your own, and you may need to phone someone for whatever particular reason, if you're worried about something, etc. But if you don't give your phone up, then get rid of any bad contacts, delete any what I would call bad contacts, which are dealers, drinking buddies, anyone that you may think is a threat to your recovery and withdrawal. You need to be strong and delete those from your phone so they can't contact you and you can't contact them during this delicate period of withdrawal and early recovery, when you are vulnerable. And the other thing is get yourself off social media. That's normal Facebook. And now I'm not talking about here any private face groups that you may be on relating to recovery or any recovery friends and such like. Now it's fantastic to be accountable during withdrawal, as I said yesterday. So having support that you can contact via private Facebook groups is great. And when you're feeling vulnerable, you can talk to people and also vent your feelings, etc. And that's great. But if you're dabbling on social media and getting involved in negative stuff, then you need to be strong and get off that. So I just leave that up to your own discretion. If you don't get rid of your phone, then get rid of your bad contacts and just keep hold of positive stuff. So you may want to keep a computer that you can go onto Facebook and your friends on private groups that are relating to recovery. Okay, so that's that. And what I'll say just before this withdrawal video is what I said yesterday, is I'm not a doctor. Everything that I try and put across here, I'm doing because I've experienced it, and it's from my own experience over many years of struggling with alcohol and opiate addiction, many withdrawals and unsuccessfully. And I'm now 11 months clean from all mind-altering substances. And this way I found was the way that benefited me most, that has given me a strong basis for my recovery now. And I've never been better. I feel great. Now, you've done your planning and preparation, and you're coming to the bit that you've been dreading most, the bit you've been fearing most. Probably the reason you've been putting off, this recovery is because of the fear of withdrawal, because we all know that it's unpleasant. There's no hiding from it. There's no sugarcoating it. It is unpleasant. But what I will say, for those that are really frightened out there, fearful of it, have not been through it before, there are varying degrees of withdrawal, both in alcohol and opiate withdrawal, and I will cover both here during this video. And the degrees are really down to the amount of drug or alcohol you were using on a daily basis, the length of time that you were using it for, and also your sex, your height, your build, your metabolism, your general fitness and well-being. They all have a bearing on the severity of withdrawal, and sometimes you just can't explain it. Some are worse than others. But what I will go through here is everything that you're likely to experience. And what I will say also is that knowledge is power. So if you know why something is happening to you, or why you're feeling something, you're probably going to be less fearful of it. If you understand what's happening to you, if you're having feelings or traumas happening to you that you don't really understand why they're happening, then it's going to frighten you and you're going to be really fearful of it. If you understand why it's happening to you, then you're more likely to be less fearful of it. Now, with withdrawal, Basically, just to put it quite simply, the body is always, the healthy human body is always trying to find a balance, if you like, and that balance is called homeostasis. And basically, the body's billions and billions and millions of chemical reactions, etc., 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 are all reacting to achieve this homeostasis, this natural balance within your body, which is perfect health and well-being. Basically, that's mentally, physically, spiritually, in every way. Homeostasis is what you're trying to achieve. When you start putting poison in your body, such as alcohol, drugs of any sort, but I'm talking about opiates and alcohol here, then obviously homeostasis or balance is disrupted within your body. So you begin to poison all the systems in your body, and they begin to fight to expel this, to re-achieve that balance. They begin to fight, and they begin to try and detoxify your body. Well, they're fighting a losing battle in addiction, aren't they? Because you're constantly pouring the shit into your body. So with opiates, opiates in particular, opiates sit on your neurotransmitters in your brain. They make a home of it. And what they do, the reason that opiates give you such a rush is they cause, when you first take them, they cause a massive dopamine and serotonin rush within your head, about 1,000 times stronger than an orgasm in sex, for instance, to use that analogy. And you become addicted initially to that feeling and try and re-achieve that feeling. Same with alcohol. It's a massive rush within your brain. And you try and re-achieve that each time, and obviously you can't re-achieve that initial rush, whatever drug you're taking. So you try and take more of it to achieve that. And the more you take, the more tolerant your body becomes to it, and the more damage is done. So anyway, back to opiates. They sit on your neurotransmitters, and they replace the dopamine and serotonin that is and endorphins, your body's natural painkillers and euphoria. They replace that with the opiates. They sit on there and they replace those natural substances. And the body eventually gets used, or the brain eventually gets used to that with opiates, and basically it stops producing those natural substances. And at the same time, all your systems are being poisoned. So when you go into withdrawal, but what's actually happening is all of a sudden you're stopping taking, this substance that's keeping you on this even keel, if you like, keeping your brain and body what you think is balanced, but it isn't. And there's a massive automatic kick as your body sort of, what I would describe it as like a computer rebooting. It reboots. There's a massive kick, and your brain starts to think, what's going on here, and it can't immediately start to produce these chemicals, and it can't immediately heal all the shit and damage that's been done by alcohol and opiates and whatever drug you're taking immediately. So that's what withdrawal is. That's what those experiences are. And I like to think, and what my mentality was going into withdrawal. And don't make any, you're here watching this, which means you want to change. You want to change. You want to go through this. You wouldn't be watching this if you didn't want to change, and that you weren't brave and courageous and strong enough to have made this decision now that you want to change. You wouldn't be watching this. So don't, do yourself down at all, because you have got the strength to do this. No doubt about it. You wouldn't be watching this if you didn't want to. So all you got to do is cross this fear barrier and prepare. And as I say, what I thought of withdrawal was, in my mentality, which is true, is all the pain and bits and pieces that you go through, which I'll go through in a second in withdrawal, is your body healing. And you have to get that mentality into your head. You're not sick, although you feel like shit. You're not actually sick. What's happening is your body is trying to re-achieve homeostasis. It's trying to re-achieve balance. So you're not sick. You're healing, and this healing, to get through it takes strength. But once you get through it, it's onwards and upwards. It's basically the sky's the limit, and you will achieve eventually over months. And it does take a while. That's why getting through this first 30 days is important. It will take a while, but you will achieve that perfect homeostasis, that balance of, physicality, mentally, physically, spiritual balance and happiness and well-being, which is the natural human state, which I did for 56 years, bollocksed up. You basically got to wait for it to heal, and that's what this is, a healing process. Now, withdrawal in England is known as clucking or rattling, and it's this right, rattling is about right. So opiate, I'll talk about opiate withdrawal first and what you can expect as these sort of chemicals start to. It's a very slow process. These chemicals are going to start to come back into your body slow but sure. So initially you're going to go through this. Whatever happens, you're going to go through some level of these symptoms. Now, whether that level is, high, as I said at the beginning, higher or lower for some people, and the length of time they last is different as well. For some people, they can last a month. For some people, are still experiencing these, a couple of 3 months later, which is why you've got to recognise them for what they are. The damage you've done is healing itself. And that's why you've got to be strong and stay on this path, and get through it. Anyway, you're gonna, as you first go into withdrawal, the first day of not taking the substance, you've got everything prepared, as I said in the last video. Watch the last video, and please subscribe and like these videos if you think they're doing any good at all, because that means more people will see them, and that's really important. If they help anybody, then even one person, it's important that more people see it, and it's really just people passing on their experiences of this. And as I say, I've done this many times, nothing to be proud of, as I said yesterday. But what it has taught me, it's taught me a way through. And if I can do it at 56 years old, you can do it now. Anyway, back to, I do ramble on, I'm sorry. Back to the point. Right, the first sort of day, if you like, you're going to be feeling anxious, nervous, restless. And that might, initially that's probably not because of the withdrawal. That's because you've just stopped taking the substance that's been keeping you mentally and physically going, if you like, for how many months or years, whatever you've been taking it for, and that's been hiding all your emotions. That's been keeping you, as Pink Floyd once said, comfortably numb. All these years, all this is going to come flooding back, and you've got to be prepared for it. You've got to be prepared to feel all these things and feel them on your own terms, and be strong. And it's not easy. It isn't easy. And you might try this a few times and fail, and there's no shame in that. Just keep going and keep trying. The only failure is to stop trying, so just keep trying this. So anxiety, nervousness, restlessness, and that's going to get worse and worse as the day goes on. The first day goes on, and a feeling of probably deflation and depression starts to set in. And if you've never experienced depression before, it's a debilitating feeling. And those of you out there who suffer from from physical depression know how debilitating depression can be. Well, you're going to feel that because your brain can't produce any feel-good chemicals. Serotonin, dopamine, endorphins, all of that stuff, is not going to be produced. So initially, or it will in very tiny doses, and your opiates and alcohol have been giving you that, and a false feeling of feeling good, if you like, and you've been living that lie, if you like, of that they've been causing. So yeah, you are going to start feeling down and depressed, and you've got to recognise that for what it is, like I say, healing. And that's going to multiply and multiply and multiply, and then you're going to start feeling one of the parts of the brain which is affected is the hypothalamus, which is the body's temperature control, and that goes whack. That goes opiates and alcohol stop it working properly, and they've suppressed it. So sometimes you get the alcohol sweats or the opiate sweats. When you're not withdrawing, the hypothalamus is all out of whack. So when you stop taking these substances, in it comes, and it can't control. It goes haywire, and that's then you start to experience heavy sweating, hot and cold, shivering when you're hot. Shivers, shakes, whatever you want to call them. You're going to sweat a load, which is what I said about the about the bedding and the clothes, the clean clothes and the clean bedding being so important because it smells as well. It stinks, and basically that's shit coming out your body. That's crap coming out your body. Years maybe of it, and you've got to recognise it for what it is. Think about it. Healing, just shit coming out of me. And yes, I feel miserable and I feel shit, which is why it's important to keep all the entertainment things that I talked about yesterday. You've got to try and distract yourself and take your mind off these things. Comedy programs, motivation videos, just constant bombarding yourself with positivity. Even though you feel like shit and you feel negative, bombard yourself with it because it will rub off some of it. So temperature, sweats, hypothalamus, pain. Your endorphins aren't producing your natural painkillers in your body, and also your opiates, and that might have been masking pain in your muscles that's been there. Your muscles cramp, and you feel stomach pain, you feel muscular pain, aching, like toothache on your body, if you like, and that's because your body starts to begin to feel again because it's been numb. So you have to realise again that for what it is, and it's just part of it. Ibuprofen, just take ibuprofen. Insomnia and restless leg syndrome. Insomnia is the worst thing of all. Insomnia. You've got to understand that the adrenal glands are suppressed when you're taking shit, and all of a sudden they switch back on and produce a massive hump of adrenaline shooting into you, which is what the restlessness and the nervousness is, and you can't sleep. It's terrible. There's no sugarcoating it. This might last a few days, but you can't sleep, and it's horrible. And you get restless leg syndrome. And restless leg syndrome is awful, and you feel like kicking your joints out, your arms and your elbows, wherever it affects you. 2 or 3 days of this, and the insomnia might last quite a lot longer. It's unfortunate, but you've got to wait for all these chemicals to balance and resettle. There's lots of things you can do to try and help yourself. Relaxation and meditation videos. You might not feel like it. Lavender oil, chamomile tea, all sorts of relaxing herbs you can take. Sleep easy tablets, that sort of stuff. Try and avoid the chemical tablets. If you have to fall back, if the doctor's prescribed you sleeping tabs, and then you want to get some kick, but you're going to have to kick them as well. So I just got through it. That doesn't mean I'm extra brave or anything. It just meant I didn't want to go through any other withdrawals. And I suggest that you try and do it naturally and let your body rebalance naturally. That's why you need all this entertainment, because you're going to be lying awake at night. Plenty of hot showers, plenty of hot baths. Soak your legs all the time to get rid of the restless legs. Magnesium is really important with restless leg syndrome. Big dose of magnesium, potassium, probably twice a day, and all the other vitamins that I said, as your body needs to replenish. Depression, cravings, that it's going to come on, the black feeling. And by this time also you're going to get the runs. There's no sugarcoating this. You're going to get nausea, and you're going to get stomach cramps, and you're going to get horrendous diarrhea, and it's going to fly out of you. Particularly with opiate addiction, not so much, although your system doesn't settle down for a while with alcohol addiction. Opiates, it's just one of those things. It flies out of you. Now, you might want Imodium or something similar, loperamide, I think it is. And a lot of people take a lot of that have been, advised on videos for opiate withdrawal to do that. Don't do that. I mean, to be crude, I just let it flow out of me. But as long as you're getting plenty of water down you, and you start to get a little bit of nourishment down you, but mostly water, all day and all night. Keep sipping, sip, drink and drink, loads of it. And even in early recovery, same, water. Keep flushing your system. Get your kidneys and your liver flushing, and hydrate your body, hydrate your cells, because your blood's been poisoned as well. Don't forget, you need to keep it moving and keep it hydrated. You need to keep moving around. Just walk around, your apartment or your house a bit. You're not going to feel like it, because that's going to bring on the last. The weakness and lethargy is debilitating for the first 7 days, I would say, of opiate withdrawal. Again, it's your body fighting. Your body's having to work so hard to fight this shit, then and to heal. It's knackered, and you're going to feel weakness. You're going to feel like a baby, weak as a kitten. You're not going to feel like getting out of bed. You're not going to feel like washing, doing your teeth, making a bed. You're not going to feel like doing any of the simple things. But you've got to try and force yourself. You're getting through this minute by minute. day by day. You're fighting constantly. You're recognizing these feelings for what they are, and you've got to fight and fight and fight and get through it. And also knowing that you can get this shit in a couple of minutes. If you have some money in your pocket, you've got to fight that feeling as well in your brain. It's really hard to know that you can end all these feelings by taking, your substance of choice or drink or whatever it is. You can stop all this horror, that you're feeling, this horrible feelings you're feeling. You can just stop it like that. That's something you really need to fight in your brain as well. You've got to recognize those thoughts for what they are. It's your brain trying to kid you. Your brain will always look for the most comfortable option, the thing that's going to cause you less pain and less feeling, and less anxiety and stress. I've said this before. The 5-second rule: recognize it, act on that quickly, and squash the thought. Because if you let the thought grow, it will grow to the stage where the craving will become unbearable. And these will ease as each day goes by. All these symptoms slowly ease. They may last you for a while, a week, 10 days, or whatever, in varying degrees, but they're easing. Each day they're getting slightly better. And you have to see that for what it is, and it's light at the end of the tunnel, positivity. So, keep going. You've got to keep going and get through this, because once you get through this, you start to live life again on your terms, don't forget, without being a slave to the shit in your body. Okay, well, that's opiates. Alcohol, again, depends on the degree. You need to, and as I said just today, please see a doctor if you're unhappy or you're worried about things like seizures. If you've been a really heavy alcohol user, stuff like that. There's many things that are the same in alcohol withdrawal and it says it's more dangerous than heroin withdrawal. Again, it depends on the use, and if you're worried, see your doctor. But I didn't, so I went through it. I'm not recommending that. It wasn't nice. It was fucking awful, to be honest with you, but so worth it. And I didn't do these together, by the way. My opiate withdrawal was nearly a year ago, and my alcohol withdrawal was a month or so after that. But I had to do it because my drinking had escalated. You can't. I'll talk about this in a later video, but you can't continue to drink after you've withdrawn. You can't. If you've got this tendency, it will just multiply and multiply and multiply, and you'll substitute one addiction will become a monster like the alcohol did with me, which has been a problem all my life anyway, but multiplied that nearly killed me. Anyway, that's by the by. So again, it starts with what they call delirium tremens. A lot of people talk to you about the DTs, delirium tremens, just another word for withdrawal, and shakes. Your muscles will become uncontrollable. You'll shake. You can't even hold the glass initially in that first 24 hours to 48 hours. You're shaking, your legs are shaking, you're wobbly. You've got the massive sweats again, and same reasons, trembling on your body. You'll feel the anxiety, the nervousness, the depression will set in. All these things are normal in alcohol withdrawal. The extra things that you might experience in alcohol withdrawal, which I did, unfortunately, was hallucinations. You'll see shapes, whatever. Some people are doing. I saw black shapes shooting around everywhere like mice. That sounds funny, but it was horrendous. Just for a day or so it was, but it was really nerve-wracking. Your heart will be racing, and you'll feel as though it's missing beats, which will make you extremely anxious and make it worse. You've got to again try and chill yourself down and relax through that. It's very difficult it's easy to say now afterwards. It's a bit like childbirth for ladies, you wouldn't really, and I couldn't understand what that is like. Childbirth must be, horrendous pain, but you forget about it. Afterwards you have another child, don't you? So your brain shuts out that suffering, if you like, and it's the same with withdrawal. So it's like me with alcohol withdrawal now. It's easy for me to say, but I know what you're going to go through, and I know it's hard. You just got to get your nut down, dig in, and it's a battle. And as Winston Churchill's saying, isn't there? If you're going through hell, keep going and get your nut down. Easy things to say, but you've got to keep inspiring yourself to do this. It's the only way you're going to get through it. So general aches and pains, heart racing, irregular beats, insomnia, depression. The insomnia is slightly different than you'll get vivid dreams. You'll get, you might nod off for a bit, but you'll have vivid dreams, alcohol dreams. It'll be scary, but recognize that for what, again, your brain, alcohol is one of the only substances that goes through the blood-brain barrier. So, you need to understand that it's done a lot of damage up there, so you're going to get all this while your brain's healing. So, yeah, you're going to get feelings of, great depression, blackness, and anxiety. But in my next video, I'll talk about how to get through those 30 days, those next 30 days, the blackest 30 days, if you like, onto your journey. And I'll make another one after that as well. So you're well on your way, because you can do this, no doubt about it. So they're the main symptoms, and you have to approach it, as I said, minute by minute, day by day, hour by hour. And there's an old thing that I said, isn't there? If you just hold on, if something was going through my brain, someone that told me when I was in rehab a good many years ago, someone told me, and I was really suffering, and I was going through a withdrawal in rehab at the time, and Giles was my mate, and he said, "Yeah, Tim," he said, he's Cockney, Londoner. He said, "Yeah, Tim," he said, "just fucking hold on, mate, just fucking hold on, because in a minute, in an hour, in a day, in a month, you'll feel better. It will be better." And it is. It always is. And I've got it tattooed on my arm here. You can't see it on there, but it's tattooed right up my arm, which is sort of like Carpe Diem, and just hold on. And it didn't do me any good at the time. It's only taken me till now to realise how true that is. Just hold on. It gets better is a very true saying, and that goes for early recovery as well. Just hold on. Every time you're struggling, just knock those thoughts out of your head, and think about the path you've got now in life, and don't throw everything away, all this hard work that you're doing now. Talk to people as well during your withdrawal, get on your social media with your groups, talk to your relatives, talk to friends who are supporting you, talk to anyone who is in addiction or has been in addiction. Vent your feelings, vent your thoughts, don't suffer alone, share your feelings, and become accountable. It's really important to be accountable, so that people will, you hold yourself accountable, don't you? You become accountable, which keeps you stronger. You don't want to let anyone down, although you'll only be letting yourself down. There's a couple of sayings that I want to use now, just to think, believe in yourself, because this, use what you've been through as sort of fuel. Anger, that's what fueled me. Use all what you've been through in your life, all that shit and all that stuff you've been hiding, hiding from with the alcohol and the drugs and all that. Use that as anger. Use that anger as fuel to help, fuel the belief in yourself, and the burning belief in yourself, which you should have, because you've all got it inside of you. Ralph Waldo Emerson once said, "What lies beneath you and what lies in front of you pales in comparison to what lies inside of you." And none of us know how strong we really are until we face, to face things in life. And it's really hard to face your fears, but, at the same time, it's very important to do it. You'll know you're never going to get anywhere or achieve anything if you don't. And another saying which you need to keep in your head, it's an old Japanese proverb, and it's fall down 7 times, stand up 8. So there's going to be times when you're going to take a step back, but it's important, you're going to feel as though you're failing. It's important to stand up and fight, and keep standing up. So you fall down 7 times, you stand up 8. You've got to have that mentality of digging in and keep battling, because, it is going to be one of the hardest fights of your life, no doubt about it. You've got to have belief in your own power, strength, and will, because you have got it in bucket loads inside you, all of you. So you get through this and you begin to live life again on your terms, and I hope this has been useful for you. And tomorrow I will go through the first 30 days and how to get through that first 30 days, and the mindset and the mentality that I use to get through it. There's a great life waiting for you out there, and if you hold on and get through this bit and detox and get this shit out your body. Once you get this shit out your body starts to heal, your mind starts to heal, you start to see the wood from the trees, and you start to live your life on your terms, so you're not a slave to this shit anymore. So keep going and keep fighting, just hold on, and subscribe and like this if it's been any good to you. and I'll sign out as normal, and that's Carpe Diem. Seize the day today. Get through this. I'm always here to support anyone that needs help. Much